Hey everyone, I'm going to tell you a story. Here's a 14-year-old starting high school in South Carolina. He feels lonely, isolated, and confused. He begins to abuse drugs and alcohol, pills that he's actually stealing from his dad. He even goes to school drunk and ends up almost getting kicked out of school. My name is Michael, and that kid in South Carolina was me. We've all made mistakes, but fortunately for me, I had healthy relationships that pushed me towards better options. But since those mistakes, I adopted a new mindset that helped me stay out of trouble. But what I've been learning is that this new mindset also has prevented me from being able to fully express myself in a way that's healthy for me and healthy for the people that I communicate with. I realized that these feelings of isolation and confusion and loneliness have developed a fear of rejection, which kind of then manifested itself in a mentality of perfectionism, which has yielded some good results, but it's also prevented me from being my true self, where I can express myself comfortably. I allowed this mindset to validate my suppression of my emotions, fearing I'd be rejected for expressing those feelings of anger and sadness. I noticed that it prevents me from acting as my authentic self, which I believe is really necessary in the line of work that I work in. I've learned that while it's important for people to see my strong traits, it's also valuable for them to see my flaws, to really be seen as vulnerable, where people can connect with me. We're living in a time where people are more disconnected than ever. I think there's multiple issues that lead to this, but I think the main things that affect people like me, like young men, is technology, social pressures, and just gender norms in general. Society doesn't encourage males to express their emotions, and we often hear things like "man up" or "men don't cry." We can probably even make the connection to this inability to express ourselves. It can be seen with the rise of domestic violence. This realization has forced me to take a hard look at myself and the way that I communicate with myself and also with others. In my short life experience, I've seen the necessity for us to be able to communicate with those that have different experiences and different backgrounds, because when we're able to communicate with them, we can have more meaningful dialogue. Personally, it's my goal to do this by being my most authentic self and showing that side that I don't necessarily always want to show. Because when people do see us as authentic, it opens the door for trust and relationships. I continue to draw from the tools that I've learned, just in terms of communicating, but one of the most powerful that I've learned over time is the power of a question. So many times we can find ourselves trying to fill in the speaking, but really we can just ask thoughtful questions that really allow for us to go into a deeper conversation with somebody else. And that's something that has really helped me with my communication skills in general. And I also try to share that with other people. I work with young people in juvenile detention. We can oftentimes try and portray ourselves as the person that we really want people to see, but we really discount what it means when people can see our true selves and the flaws that come with it. When we do that, people can at least identify where you're coming from, and specifically with the juveniles that I work with in detention, they can see it as a safe place where they can express themselves. And so often that's been a huge thing that's prevented them from being their true selves, the inability to express those feelings safely. I found that when I'm fighting the person that I want to show people who I am instead of just being who I am, I feel misunderstood. But when we do express those emotions, it allows us to feel more understood, and I think that's something that we all kind of want deep down, and that's to be understood. Thank you.